1045 The Team, 1045theteam.com. On the phone right now, University of New Hampshire football coach Sean McDonnell. Coach McDonnell, a Section 2 product, St. Peter's Academy, later became Saratoga Central Catholic back in 1973. Coach, you guys are taking on Albany. You're coming to town this week. You've been in New Hampshire for a long time. It's been a while since you've been in the Capital Region. You still get excited to come back home?
Yeah, I love coming back to the Capital District. Make an annual trek every year, at least once to the racetrack up in Saratoga. It's where I grew up on. A lot of good people in the area, especially Saratoga, that had a lot to do with my success, and it's always good to get back back home.
You're bringing a very good program, a very prestigious program in UNH. You went to the national semifinal just last season. What are the keys for you guys to beat Albany on Saturday?
The first thing we got to do is hang on to the football. Anytime we've been playing well this year, kept the ball in our hands. And the second thing, I'm watching them the last 3 games, in the last month of the season, JMU, the off week, Richmond, and Delaware. I think they found somebody special in the running back, Hanks. We recruited a kid. He made plays from Don Bosco to whatever level he's been in. He's made plays. I think DJ Cook. We recruited him as well. The kid out of Massachusetts, out of Bart. He's just a kid who's a winner. And you watch him in the last couple games again. Sussman started, but when DJ came in, he made some plays. And then defensively, I think the young kids in the teams, Hoskins, Cox, Clark, they're pretty good football players. So we got to go, man.
I don't think people realize just how good the CAA is. It's a dogfight every single week in that conference.
Yeah. I know Coach Ford for a long, long time. And Coach used to play some of our teams. He played Delaware and he beat them. He played us. He played Maine and beat them and do some things. And when you play them once every 3 weeks or you play them, twice a year, when he got into the league, I remember talking to him after, the week in and week out, wear and tear of playing every team in the CAA is really, really challenging. Rhode Island, they were up 17-0 on us. Elon, they beat Towson, who's now got, a chance to make the playoffs. It's such a well-balanced league, and now you see Albany going to Delaware, seeing them beat us down there, and took it to them. So it's a pretty even Steven league the whole way.
Coach, you guys have had an unprecedented amount of success in your tenure in New Hampshire. Now 11 straight winning seasons, 11 consecutive trips to the FCS tournament, 155 consecutive weeks ranked in the top 25 at one point. How have you built this program up over time?
Well, it starts with having a lot of good people surrounding the program, from the president down to the AD, coaches, assistant coaches. Found our type of players, and I think it was a lot of the blueprint that Coach Ford and Coach Kataz are using at Albany. Blue collar guy, under the radar type of player, and then finding a couple guys that are diamonds in the rough. And then getting them to play hard week in and week out. I think that's a huge thing.
When you talk about recruiting, you guys have had a number of guys go on to play in the NFL. When you're coming out of an FCS league and you're able to produce NFL players at the rate that you guys have, how big is that in your recruiting?
Well, it's big because it gives you some exposure and notoriety. The thing you got to sell, though, to be honest with you, is that the 98, the 99 other percent that come to school for 4 years or 5 years, depending upon if they're redshirted, that get a great degree, get a diploma. We graduated at a 94% graduation rate right now. Our APR is up there. And then the last thing, get an opportunity to play great football all the way from Maine down to North Carolina. I think those are the things you sell. Icing on the cake is a great stadium. Icing on the cake is having guys that have got an opportunity to play in the NFL. But I think the other stuff is what sells our program.
We love these stories of guys who come from small places and make it big. Spa Catholic, I think this year has a graduating class of in the 30s or something. So how did you get from there to where you are now?
Well, fortunately, my father and Joe King, my high school football coach, knew that I wasn't ready to go to college, so I went to prep school for a year, got some exposure at Milford Academy, and moved over there. But to say the least, what Saratoga, between Saratoga High and at that time St. Peter's, the type of kids that they produced as student athletes, as kids who could play, the competition in that area, you had Jimmy Town from Glens Falls, you had a bunch of different people that were able to be recognized for their abilities in a small setting, such as St. Peter's, such as Saratoga. And we got those opportunities go on.
Coach, a guy I know you're friends with is Chip Kelly, who also was coached at New Hampshire. I just have to ask, because you're only the second guy I've ever talked to who has known Chip Kelly, how much of a mad scientist is this guy?
Well, I don't know if he's a mad scientist. I know this. He's a smart guy. And if you've ever been around him, he's very, very, very inquisitive. He's we kid him all the time. He's like a sponge, just kept soaking stuff up. He goes and tries to find answers to all the questions that he has. I was just talking to him the other night about a situation in the game that I saw on last Sunday night about something they did coverage-wise. And, he's telling me, he goes, Mac, here's what happened. And he goes through it. And, and you just sit there and you go, okay, Charlie, I'm not thinking of that stuff. Where'd you come up with it? And he had very good reasons for it. But he works at his trade, and he's always has, whether it was at, Johns Hopkins as the defensive coordinator or as the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Sean McDonnell, head football coach, University of New Hampshire, the Wildcats and their top flight program coming into Albany Saturday night, 7 p.m. at Bob Ford Field. Coach, you're a Section 2 product, a Section 2 alum, and we'll be happy to have you back in the Capital Region. Good luck.
Excited to get here. Thanks an awful lot for the call, man.